Hi, I'm packing up my classroom for the end of the summer. These are some of the little frogs. You can see the one, I want to zoom in on it, the one on the edge there. They're little tree frogs. And there's another one inside the tank. And another one, little smudges. Let me go over the top, you can see them better. There's, I think, 4, maybe 5 in here. There's 4th. They sometimes burrow under, oh, there's a 5th one right there. They burrow underneath the moss there. Here's a little side view of how I got this set up. It was just so splashy. It's too foggy to, or not foggy, but just little splashes. But I just got a little gravel and put moss, and I still have water. I figured out how they were really drowning. They were really drowning because I had too much water. When they started getting legs, I should have taken them out of the deeper water and put them in a little tank like this where the water, look how shallow it is. And I got the gravel so they can get wet, as they get as wet as they want, immerse themselves as much as they need, but then they can get in, you know, different areas. So I've been feeding these the fruit flies, the very gross fruit flies, but the fruit flies are kind of economical because they're propagating in here. I think I've shown you that. They've got, they're sort of see-through, so you can see that food in them. There's one that kind of killed accidentally. It's hard, they start just coming out so fast. And there's some in the lid of this one, this container. And I think I don't know, I guess I put the sponge in upside down and they were a little tiny, because you can see, it's really gross. The little tiny little, oh, I'm trying to focus it. The tiny babies. Ugh. So the adults are laying eggs, and so you just have to buy a little bit of this. So these are, the little frogs are doing well with them, but I'm gonna release them. It's the end of the year, I'm packing up my room. The biggest frog, the biggest tadpole, I lowered, you can see what different layers of water we've had in here. And just last night, I believe it was, I added the rocks and stuff because I really lowered the level of water. I'm trying to find him. There he is. I tried to, oh, that isn't him. Where be you? I lowered the level of water when I saw that its head was sticking up. I really don't see it anywhere. It was just here. I bet it's hiding. There it is. Now I'm going to chase it. I'll let it settle. So it's got all its legs, and I promise that tail, and it looks really huge now. The whole thing from tip to tail is, I mean, tip of the nose to the tip of the tail is probably about 1 1/4 inch long right now. But the tail has gone down crazy fast. It was like, it was 2 times longer than that, I promise, just 2 days ago. So it's spinning, it's really getting its lungs working. Pretty soon I'll start feeding it, but I have it a similar kind of setup. I did just have this dish turned upside down, and then I just saw the poor little guy. You can't really tell much about it because there's so much deposit, but the poor little guy, you can kind of see him. He maybe even hopped a little. I'm sorry about the quality of this, but it was mostly sitting with its head out, so I thought maybe I need to go ahead and put it so that it can get out of the water. I'm going to put the lid on this. I'm going to show you Pedra. This is going to be a little full circle thing. I'm putting the lid on because I don't want that guy drying up somewhere. me not being able to find him. So Pedra, this is a little pet shop area. Back out. This is Pedra, and I just woke her up accidentally. She's got the powder all over the floor of her tank is calcium powder. You can see she's got a cool ear. You can see through her ear, or see into her ear. This glass has a lot of debris on it, splashes and things. She's a pretty little girl. She's got a little fat tail. That's where she stores her fat. And she's standing in the area that she uses as a litter box. And I have an extra little green carpet. It's made out of recycled Coca-Cola bottles. It's kind of neat. And you just wash it out and spray this disinfectant on it and rinse it really well and let it dry. And then just replace it. But I had to put that so she wouldn't beat her head trying to get to the tadpoles. But I'm going to feed her. What I have some mealworms. They're just in a little container. Mealworms are beetle larvae. Oh, here's one that's turned into a, see the little pupa? It'll really wiggle. That must have just happened today. You can kind of give it a little focus. Anyway, this is a couple of the two of the stages anyway. They go from an egg and then they become a beetle. They're called a darkling beetle or a mealworm beetle. They live in cornmeal, different kinds of grain. And this is cornmeal. This is the stuff, I'm gonna get better light. This is the stuff that I really want you to see that one. But it's kind of, it's a little pixely too. But this is the stuff that they come in. I just get them at the pet shop. We use them to, the kids raise them. We use them for studying about life cycles. When they're really dark like this, they're getting ready to molt. They're not really dark. You can see they're not really a worm. They got little legs in the front. They breathe through their sides. I feed them. I have this Fluker's cricket diet. People feed I get it at the pet store. They feed them to their crickets that they're going to feed as food because crickets don't have much nutritional value, it turns out. So I use that to supplement their diet to help her be healthier. So I'm doing a list on my lap. So I usually grab 2 or 3 of these little guys. This is calcium powder. I get it at the pet store too. So I'm going to pick up a few of these little guys and stick them in here. I usually, if they get to the stage where they're a pupa, I have a little bit of a heart. I mean, I don't even eat meat, so this has been really a challenge for me to do this. But I need to change this food. The moisture from this orange cubes, this is what's left after they've chewed on it. They're really just, geometrical beforehand, but they really chew into them. But the moisture from that makes this food go bad. So I'm going to take this food out and get some oatmeal. See if we can find it. I think this one's a dead, no? Here's a dead one, I believe. They turn real hard. Here's another dead one. This is a shed skin. They molt several times. Every time they molt, it's called an instar. But what I do is I just get powder, cover the little mealworms with powder, and then I put them in here for her. So my kids always want to see her eat. She's She didn't see very well. Oh, she's seeing him over there. I've got him over to the right hand side. But they have to wiggle. And I've seen her, if I put one in that's newly dead, and I didn't realize it was dead, she will spit it out. They have to wiggle for her to recognize them as food. So she can't really figure out what's going on. She's like, I see the powder. I'm gonna move it out of the way. So now she's like, no, I don't know what to do here. I'm gonna get a little. Here, hello, girl. She doesn't respond when I call her either. Hey, Pedra, look over here. Okay, may have to pick her up. She didn't really like me to pick her up, and I read that it's really stressful for her to get picked up. Her skin on the back of her is real. She's kind of sandpaperish almost, and her teeth are hurty. They're little sharp, needly teeth. And I'm letting her water go down. I'm going to take her out of here tonight. But anyway, I'm going to pick her up. It's hard to do with them. See, she didn't like it. Her underside is so tender. Look here, girl. Look what I got. Here. She just thinks I'm trying to attack her, which is not true. She goes under a log. I'm going to take the log out. Here. I think maybe the contrast, there's some of her poo right there. Maybe the contrast will let her see that. So she chews it. You can kind of hear it snapping. I'll put some more in there. Maybe she's realizing what's going on. Oh, I've got things stacked up everywhere. Here you go. This is how the powder gets all over the floor of her little nest here. Or I've got a little heating pad under here. I did have it attached to the bottom of the glass, but it got too hot. I've got a little, there's a thermometer she's actually standing on, and it's got a wire, and it goes up to here to make sure she's got a pretty good temperature. And then this is shows the temperature of the whole tank. I got a cool side with the water. She likes to go in there. She had a small little dish, but she really likes to go in it. Look here, baby. I'm not mean to you. Here. She didn't see well, I really think. And she's not used to, there we go. Sometimes I've seen her hit the kind of near where the thing is, but not actually get it. I guess I'm cropped in so much it's not wanting to focus on her. So I'm gonna try to bring her closer to me with these little guys. I think she must be pretty low on the food chain. I hear some frogs kicking some gravel around. This is what my kids have wanted to see over and over. It is very powdery in there. Her toes are so splayed out that really bothers me somewhat, but I guess that's just the way she is. She seems healthy. She really doesn't do too much. And she's nocturnal too, so I woke her up out of a deep sleep. She licked her eye. Anyway, about Charlotte too, but I didn't bring her any food, and she's just laying there. I'll show her another time.